Creating a screencast tutorial is a great way to show people how to use a computer. You may have seen these tutorials if you've watched this channel, for example, where I can demonstrate something that I'm doing on the screen and I can have a little video of me in the corner explaining what I'm doing. It's a very powerful way to convey information. And if you're an iSpring user and you're building online courses, you can embed those screen recordings into your online course. But in this video, I'll show you how we can go beyond that. I'll show you how we can take those videos and publish them as content to YouTube. What you're seeing right now is an example of a screen capture. You can see my screen, you can see me down in the corner, and I can show you and demonstrate what I'm doing on my screen and record audio, and I can record video where I can talk about what I'm doing at the same time. So this is a powerful way to share information with learners. If I'm building an online course, for example, this course on computer networking and IP addressing, it's going to be a lot more effective if learners can see me go into my computer, modify IP addresses, go to different web pages that talk about IP addresses, and do all sorts of things that help them understand more effectively what's going on. iSpring can do a lot more than that. It can do quizzes and hotspots and interactions and role plays, and there's so much you can do with iSpring. Check out some of my other videos on all the wonderful things you can do. To create a screen recording in iSpring, I'll create a blank slide. I can either create a new slide or go to a blank slide, and then I'm going to go to screen recording. When I click on screen recording, it'll open up the iSpring Cam Pro. This is going to allow me to not only create the recording, but once I've created the recording, I'll be able to do some edits to that recording. So we'll start a new recording, and it's going to give me a few things that I can configure. The first thing is I'll have this dashed line, this dashed box. I could use that to determine the area that I wanted to record. I'll also have this box where I can configure my recording. So for example, I could just record the screen, I could record just the camera, and I could record the screen and the camera together. I can choose my recording area, either the entire screen, a full screen, the area that's within this dashed box, or I can even do something really cool, which is I can choose an application. So if I choose the application, I could choose, let's say, a web page that was all about IPv4, and then that web page would be the only thing that was being recorded. And that would be great because it would lock it to that application. I could choose my microphone, so I can choose whichever microphone that I'd like to use for recording. And if I go into the screen and camera, I'll receive a dialog box for my camera, and that will allow me to choose which camera I'd like to use. So here, for example, I could use my Surface's front camera. So I'm on my Surface at the moment, so I can wave, and I'm using the front camera of this computer here. Now I'll go in once I've done that, and I can start my recording. So now iSpring will start recording my screen, and in order to stop recording my screen, what I'm going to do, it'll say go. So now I'm recording my screen, and in order to stop recording my screen, I'll hit the F10 key. So if I go in and hit F10, anything that I've recorded here will be recorded. So I'll just scroll a little bit so that we have some movement on there, and then I'll hit my F10 key, and that will stop the recording. So once my screen recording completes, and I went in and I did a screen recording of a Wikipedia page here, it'll say that the screen recording has completed, and it will insert it into my online course. I can even add annotations directly onto any place where I may have clicked. So I won't put annotations on here, but that's a handy feature if you're clicking through a demonstration. And you can see here I now have a timeline at the bottom with my Surface camera as well as the screen recording. I can preview this. In this recording, we're going to talk about IP version 4. So for this recording, I am using a Wikipedia page, and I can also go in and edit. I can split it, I can go through. There's a number of different edits that I can do around working with the video. Notice that I have options to do things like import other video from my computer, import other audio. I can do things like remove noise. If I get a little bit of an area that's not as conducive to good audio, I can do a noise removal. I can go through and I could generate the captions after the fact. I can do things like put a border around the video, create effects. If I go to the home option here, there's other things I can do. For example, I could insert a picture into the video, maybe a logo or something that I like, or a text box into the video. a shape. There's all sorts of things that I can do to make this video more interesting. One of the things I can certainly do is make the video a little bit larger so it takes up a bit more space. And then of course I can use the playhead to scrub through that to make sure that at any point when I'm talking, I don't, go over top of anything that I want the audience to be able to see. And if I'm happy with the video, I can now save and return it, and that will be embedded into my online course. So if I go back to my online course, it'll be there for me. You can see I now have this embedded screen recording. Having screen recordings in my online course is fantastic because it'll allow users to see me doing things and watch me as I do them. Now, iSpring can do a lot more. You can do quizzes. There's tons of things you can do with iSpring. But what if I wanted to take this video and use it as a promotion for my course? Or what if I wanted to take this video as a standalone video on YouTube? That's what we're going to do next. So I have my entire course built. Let's say I have all sorts of things in here and my course is ready to go. I could preview my course and see how it looks to a user, and I could publish my course. When I go to publish my course, I'm going to do something very specific in order to get this video so that I can put it on YouTube. What I'm going to do is I'm going to hit the publish button, and I'll have the option of publishing this course to one of several different locations. Notice that I'll be able to give the course a name. I'll be able to look at the directory that I'm putting the course materials into. I could publish to the iSpring Cloud, to iSpring Learn, the LMS, to a different LMS, or directly to YouTube. Except I just want this one video to go onto YouTube. And in order to do that, I'm actually going to publish this course to my computer. And when I publish it to my computer, I'm going to publish it as an HTML set of files. Normally this would be so that I could distribute it on my own web server or a web server. So we'll go in and we'll take a look at the slides themselves and we'll make them to their original size. So we'll save that. Then what I'll do is, instead of publishing them for standard delivery, I'll publish them at the highest possible quality, because I'm going to store these on my hard drive, and then what I'm going to do is take that screen recording as a video from those files. So I want to make it lossless. I do not want to have any compression. I want the highest quality video, and I would like the highest quality audio, and I will save those settings, and now I'll be able to publish the course, or if I wanted to, I could just publish the one slide. So I could go in here, for example, and just publish slide number 4, which is really the slide that has the screen recording on it. So I'll go ahead and publish that, and it'll take a few moments to publish, and then we'll go and find that video. Once I've published, I could do whatever I'd like with these files, but here's a very interesting way to get the file onto YouTube. If I go into open the files of the course that I published, and I can do this after, or I can go right from here, you'll notice that underneath the directory, I have a folder called Data. Underneath the Data folder, if I scroll through, you'll see that I have a video file. So at the very bottom here, I have a video file, and if I was to play this video file, let's just start that up. It'll open up Media Player, and I can play this file. IP version 4, or the Internet Protocol, has been used to connect. Now, taking a look at an IP version 4 frame, this is my screen recording, and it's saved as an MP4 file. So now I can use that file, and I can load that onto YouTube. Let's do that now. Now that you have the MP4 file, the video file, uploading it to YouTube is easy. You just go into your YouTube account, YouTube Studio, and you select Upload. You'll drag the file onto here. YouTube will ask you a few questions, whether it's made for kids, if you'd like to put the language, any tags, those sorts of things. But your YouTube video is now here. You can go in and you can watch your video on YouTube. IP version 4, or the Internet Protocol, has been used to connect the... Not only is it really easy to use the screen recorder in iSpring and embed those recorded videos into your course, but you can also use them on YouTube. So you really do the work once, but you can use it many times. And that's a very useful feature. So don't forget to publish it to your computer. Go grab those video files and load them up to YouTube. as a promo for your course, or as a video just by itself. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.